This video may contain copyrighted material used for educational, transformative, or commentary purposes, constituting fair use under Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Law. And it's also my Hey now, how y'all doing? It's Lil Paulette, and I'm back with episode 4 of The Later Daters. It's called It's a Vibe. Now y'all remember when we left off, Anise went out with the white guy, and the white guy said he had never dated anybody but black people before. And Lori, which was the new girl, she went out. I think she went to like a work event or something like that. And then Nate is about to go out on a new date as well, guys. So let's hop back into the Later Daters. I hope y'all had a great week. And I hope that everybody is doing well. All right, let's do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it to the music. So Anise's date is really enjoying the date, and they seem to have a lot in common. But the only red flag for him is that Anise has never dated interracially. But she has, she just hasn't let it go any further than the first date. But this is what he says. So Anise is enjoying the date as well, and she says she felt delightful. So that's a good sign that, you know, especially after she had the Dusty Brigade before with old dude. So this is a good thing for Anise. Yeah. So they're not having any sparks. They're just like a friend good thing or whatever. There's no instant physical attraction or whatever. And that's crazy because that girl is bad. Now I don't think she's the most beautiful woman, but she's very attractive. I do know that. And she definitely looks better than him. He's just okay. I'm absolutely positive that she could pull 100 times more men than he could pull women. I'm absolutely positive on that. But he seems like a nice guy. So the whole cast started talking about singles ads from back in the day, how you used to put an ad in the paper, and you could say woman seeking, great guy, man seeking this, BBW seeking, single black male, single white male, single black female, single white female, etc., etc. And they're kind of joking about it. Because the youngins, they ain't never heard of it. So our newest cast member, Lori, she's about to go on a hot date, and she asks her daughter Kennedy for help and asks her for some pointers. Her daughter basically started off saying, don't go into the date like blah, 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 blah. I wonder what that means. Does that mean she talks too much? She's very aggressive? Or is she just, I don't know. The producers asked her children, her son and her daughter, do they think that the mom is easy to date? And the daughter just hysterically started laughing. Lori leaves to go out on her date after taking a few pictures with her daughter. Her daughter took a few pictures of her. Looked like pictures for a dating app. I don't know, child. And then you know how Nate do. Nate like to get dressed up, and he be looking real smashy. I don't even know how to describe it. Swaggy, Nate Daggy, whatever it is. Nate be looking good. He makes sure he's dressed up, and he's dressed nicely for every date. He comes with flowers. He's very respectful and everything. So I really, really do like Nate, and I hope he finds somebody, even though he's anal and everything. There's a woman out there that loves anal men, so he'll find somebody. So Nate's date is Lisa. She's 56, divorced, 2 years single, 2 children, and she's an esthetician. She also looks like she's clear. Now, we all know that sometimes that could be a black person. But when I heard her talk, I couldn't tell. So I got to give it a few minutes and let her sit down. Because what I'm looking at is she could either be a very light-skinned black girl, a Puerto Rican, any type of Latino, or an Italian. This is just at first glance, y'all. This is just at first glance. So I'm going to have to wait and see what Lisa's talking about to see if I can tell. Because, you know, usually we can tell our own skin folks. Oh, my goodness. Okay, remember how I told y'all that they showed the high school pictures or army pictures and stuff like that? Well, that gave it away. Because when they showed Lisa in her high school picture, her senior picture, she got the same hair as me. She's a sister, just light skin. But she still could be Latino, though. But she's a black Latino, an Afro Latino, just light skin. This is just what I think, y'all. Just coming from an area where there's nothing but Latino people that people think are black. And yes, they are black, but in their ancestry, they're black. So yeah, so she looks like a sister. Her and Nate meet, and Nate is thoroughly impressed. He thinks she is gorgeous, and she is. She's gorgeous. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The women on this show, they look good. Now, I know some younger people might think they look old and all that stuff, but all of these women look good for their age, and can't nobody tell me they don't. Every single one of them. She's 56. She look good. Anise look good. Lori look good. Suzanne look good. Like the other lady that was married to the rock star, I can't think of her name right now. That might be Suzanne. All of these women look good. So yeah, so they're talking about each other's lives, and Lisa asked if his children live with him because they both said they both have 2 children. And Nate talks about how his oldest daughter is in the Air Force and how she had a scholarship, and something happened with the scholarship where she lost it and she needed to kind of move back with mommy or daddy, and they both told her that she needed to figure it out on her own. He starts going on like a little tangent explaining kind of like how some people don't necessarily believe in that, and you know, they wouldn't let their kid move back home. And Lisa interrupted him and said, both of my kids live at home. And I think both of her kids are older than his oldest daughter, like by a couple of years or a year or something like that. 35 and 31 or something like that. And I think his daughter might be like 34 or something. They're all like stair steps by each other. Anyway, her kids and his kids. And Nate is like, oh. So I don't know. I think she's like, before you even say anything negative about parents who allow their kids to live there, just know that my kids live with me too, brother. All Nate said was wow a couple of times. Wow. Because you know what? He's trying to change that direction of that conversation so he don't say nothing offensive, I guess, to her. So Miss Lori meets her date for the first time. He's a brother. His name is Ty. He's 59. Divorced, single 7 years. He has 3 children, and he is an investor / entrepreneur. That's kind of matching her. When they showed him talking, he said he is very, very attracted to intelligence. Yeah, I am too. Actually, I prefer a nerd with swag. But yeah, I understand exactly what he's saying. And I feel like Lori is very attractive. She's very business-minded. And she got her shit together. It just is what it is. All these women do. Every single one of them got their shit together. Speaking of shit together, hey, Lacey. Because I know that you are watching my video. Hey, girl. Lacey W. in the building. Thank you so much, girl. Before I forget, y'all, their pictures of them when they were younger are adorable. So Lori gets to the restaurant, and Ty doesn't even know that it's her. She gets all the way to the table, and he jumps up like, oh, you're Lori? Oh, I should have met you over there. So she's like, that's okay. You didn't know who I was. And it looks kind of awkward, for them. She, I think he pulls out a chair. She sits down, and she says, in the confessional, how first thing she would probably do is upgrade him from that white t-shirt that he has showing underneath his shirt. I mean, he got the funds. He just probably don't know how to use them, I guess, when it comes to dressing or whatever. So, I mean, for me, I don't see any sparks between them already, and she just said that. I don't see it. But it may be because she says that she knows him from somewhere. She's like, I know you. I've seen you somewhere before. Y'all remember that she does events and stuff, and she works for, like, I think it was either an Atlanta magazine or like a magazine in Atlanta, and she goes to, like, parties with celebrities and all that kind of stuff. So she's a big thing in Atlanta. So she probably knows a lot of people or have seen people. She might have seen him at an event or something. Who knows? So old boy said he was a foot person. He had noticed that her toenails and stuff matched before she sat down at the table. And, he basically has a foot fetish. And Lori is delivering all day. So they are having an interesting conversation where, I don't know, Lori seems to be firing off questions at him like it's a job interview. I don't really like that. But he came in a confessional and he was like, did you see how she was picking my behavior apart? I like it. I'm stimulated. I like her. She's pretty cool. I like her, yeah. So he likes it. He's probably used to women fawning all over him because of his money. He's not ugly. He's an attractive guy. He's just, I don't know. He's not a man that you would be like, God damn. I mean, not me. But he's definitely not ugly. He's definitely an attractive guy. His personality is attractive. So, yeah. Lori, too. Yeah. Wow, this dude is dope, man. He asked her, what was the one thing that you can change in humanity? What would it be? And she said greed. And he said, oh, wow, give this lady a prize. Then he starts talking about how when he was in his 20s and 30s that he was greedy and basically really just narcissistic. And then Lori's like, red flag, red flag. Oh, I'm just playing. And he's like, no, you're talking to a person that's worked on themselves. Because most people don't admit that they're a narc. I don't know why she did that. She shouldn't have never did that. That kind of, I don't know, that turned me off because he was being serious and he was showing that he did the work. And there ain't a lot of men who do the work. Y'all who in the chat could tell me that in the comments? Y'all know most men do not work on themselves. There are, when I say, like, okay, there's a lot of men who work on themselves, but compared to all men, most men don't. So when a man does the work, and those are the guys that men call simps and stuff. That's who those guys are. Because misogyny, little boys are taught misogyny at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's everywhere, y'all. It's built in. This is how they grow up to be little bastards. How they so sweet when they little. The streets get them. The other guys get them. The cult of man gets to them and tells them that they corny or they a simp or they pee-whooped if they, be a good person or a good man and all that kind of stuff. Once those guys get a hold of them, it's kind of like the things that mama said don't matter. Now, a lot of guys go back to what their mother said and they end up growing up and being good guys. But that's not the majority. That's not the majority because the stats do not show that, guys. The stats show that it's the minority. And that's globally. So Nate and Lisa is talking, and Lisa says basically she's just too soft with her kids. She's too soft. It ain't really about her letting them stay there. I guess she said that when they're together, she feels like they're 10 again. And Nate said, nah, he dropped the hammer on her. Too funny. Two different styles of parenting. So Nate goes into the confessional and he says initially it's a red flag to have grown kids still living with the parents. But since she wants them to be independent, it's a small red flag or maybe a yellow one. because she wants to get them out the house eventually. Don't that sound like somebody y'all know? Sound like a lot of women that I know, including myself, how we make excuses for something and flip it around. I mean, trust me, nothing against you, Lisa. I don't have no problem with your kids living with you. I'm just talking about what Nate said, girl. So Nate goes to, gets to the part where he tells about his injury from jumping out of planes. And he tells her that he cracked his vertebrae real bad and messed up his knee. Do y'all know that this lady responded with, was it a bad fall? Like a bad landing? What? He said he cracked his vertebrae. And he had to retire because of it. Like, what? I don't know. She just didn't know what to say. And that was just a nervous response. But how can you ask if that was a bad fall? What? Girl, Lisa. I think you're just nervous. Y'all, so Nate goes on to, really go into detail that he's never gone into detail about the fall, and how people, a lot of the people that he's in the military with was in ROTC, and they all retired as full lieutenant colonels or full bird, and he knows that, these guys were under him, and he, said that everybody thought that he would at least retire full bird, right? He starts to say that he's, told about this injury, on other dates, and that he's never really gone into full detail, only because Lisa pushed him. Child, because Lisa asked, was it a bad landing or a bad fall? He's saying Lisa pushed him. So he is definitely making excuses, and I don't know what he's doing because he likes her. I don't know. You just wanted to share that with her because you're intrigued with her. I hope he ain't on no colorism stuff. Like, he's just liking this girl because she looks clear. Like, because she really does. She looks like a clear person. And it seems like he's going out of his way. I don't know. Lisa, I hope you're not a fetish for him. I hope if he likes you, it's really, he likes you. So Pam, that's whose name I couldn't think of earlier, which is crazy. She's 70, y'all. Remember, she used to be married to a drummer. She ran away with him, a rock band guy back in the day. She had a great date last week, and she's talking to the dating coach Logan about it, and just talking about, her other dates and how she really enjoyed this last date, which I thought that it was a great date. I loved the guy that she was with. I liked the way they were together. They were cool together. So I enjoyed it. Okay, so Nate and Lisa is hitting it off, and they want to see each other later. And guess what Lisa says? I brought my phone so we can do selfies. If y'all remember, Nate wanted to do selfies on his first date, and that girl said she had never heard of that before. Which I don't know who she be dating if she never heard of that. Must be some real stuffy dudes. But y'all know that means Nate was loving that shit, right? Okay, so yeah, they all falling all over each other, and Nate walk her to the car, and she just skinning and grinning, and he's skinning and grinning. Yeah, Lisa like Nate, and Nate likes Lisa. Ooh, child. So Ty and Lori, they're having a good time on the date, and he asks about a second date, and he started giving suggestions for stuff, and when she says that's okay, like that's a good suggestion, he puts his number in her phone and she texts, and then when the text comes when he responds back, or when she sends the text through, she goes, I knew I seen you before. Because, you'll be able to tell if you talked to somebody before, if you had the same phone, the same stuff is going to show that, them same old messages or whatever. Yep, because the person is already in your phone. It's a Thai POF. That is funny because that's how mine used to say. This person POF, that person POF. And for those who don't know, POF is plenty of fish. It's a dating app that we used to be on. I mean, I met my husband on there. Wow. She's like, I need to know why we stopped talking. That means you ghosted me. He's like, there was no ghosting. Because he was talking about, he kind of remembered the hair. She said it was May 8th, 2017. This girl Lori is like me. That's how it would be in my phone too. I would be able to just pull that shit right up. So she still told him to give her a call and everything. But when she got to the confessional, she said she don't know if it's like a, something there or a friend zone thing. This is from the person who says she always gets friend zone too, guys. Keep that in mind. But she said she do want to see because he do got a vibe. So she is open to seeing if anything, transpires, some type of attraction occurs later. And we all know that women do sometimes change how they feel about somebody. Like they might think they're ugly, but later on, because that person is being a human being and doing nice things, not necessarily buying nice things, but just being thoughtful and caring, and you get to see another side of them, they do become more attractive. At least that's how women see, men, some of us. I'm not going to say all women, but that's how some women think. Do y'all remember Suzanne, 63, with the white pretty hair? The one that said that seems like a hippie that I could be friends with? And she went out with the second guy, Avery, which she really liked. And I didn't really like that much, but I didn't dislike. I just think he's just okay. Well, Suzanne invited Avery over. Suzanne has two Bichon dogs, I think. Might be 3 or 4, but I think she has 2. So she invited old boy to her house, Mr. Avery. I stand corrected. She has 6. Suzanne loves the Georgia Bulldogs or the Georgia Dogs, whatever it is. She loved Georgia football. So when Avery had wanted to go back out on a date, he called her out for a second date. She told him she didn't know if she could go because, Georgia was playing that day. So he said he would incorporate it into the date. And she just decided that she would just invite him to a Georgia football game. That way they can just make sure that she don't miss her game and he get to go. But remember, his team is her rivalry. I can't remember what it is. Suzanne and them, they going to the game. They outside like tailgating, drinking and stuff. And they're talking about, the type of alcohol that she likes and stuff. And he just loving it, that she'll take a beer. And she's like, I'm a young soul. I need good energy. Like, she can't be around no old grumpy ass man, basically is what she's saying. She needs somebody who is fun and young. And I feel her 1,000,000% because I am the same way. Let me stop. I'm the same way. I hope this AirPod thing didn't cover it up. I hope y'all can hear me. Suzanne and Avery are having a good time. They're just laughing and they seem to be just so smitten with each other. And I really like it. And Suzanne says that they have great chemistry. So it's for her to say. I really do like them together though. They look good. And I know before I said I didn't think that they would look good together because she looks different than him or whatever. But when I see how happy they look together, I have to reassess what I see. And they do look good together. So a niece and her daughter, they're at a coffee shop and they're talking about, her date with the white guy. And she was saying that, after her daughter asked her if there was some interest, she was saying that there would be if there was some interest on both ends, basically she's saying. So she's like, why not, the daughter? And Anise is saying that because she never has dated anybody interracially, you know, past that one date at this age, it would cause another person to have some pause, and they don't want to date somebody who's just curious. And the daughter is like, why? Why would they do that? Is he a man? Does he have a penis? But Anise is absolutely right, because that's exactly what he said in the confessional. That's exactly what he said. And this is what I be talking about with her daughter. She is going off of men in her generation, not men in our generation and up, because you don't know nothing about that girl. I mean, you could be with a guy that's older or whatever, but he may act younger, or he's different from these guys. But that's exactly what the white dude said, that it was a pause for him because she hadn't dated anybody else. So there you go. So Anise and her daughter, they get very vulnerable, where the daughter admits that she respects her mom's journey and she has nothing but empathy and sympathy for it. And Anise had said before that you know, she tells her kids all the time that she's a different person, and they keep telling her that she's not, but she knows that she is, and they don't give her space to be a different person. And if you look for the same person, that's what you're going to find. So, you know, they had a little vulnerable moment, and it was nice. I really enjoyed that. And then all of the cast talks about their first kiss. Pam said her first was in 8th grade, and her little boyfriend's dad was a senator. Look at Pam. She always was going for the big fish. And Suzanne said hers was Chico. Chico and the man. If you young, Google it. Lori said she was 18 on her first kiss. She was a late bloomer. Girl, 18 kindergartners be kissing. Child, pre-K babies be kissing. Tell me that's my boyfriend, don't know what they doing, but they kind of do. I mean, y'all know it ain't tongue. I'm just saying, first kiss in school is still a baby thing. Unless you are 18, probably. But otherwise, you know, unless you up there in your teens, it's still a little baby peck stuff. Anise said she was in the 8th grade. Her daughter said, oh, fast. Y'all know how black people are. Lord have mercy. Ooh, we funny. Lori said she was scared to death having her first kiss. And Nate said he was around 7 or 8. Yeah, that's kind of what I remember, kids being like 7 or 8 and even younger. I mean, at least during my time. They just wasn't having smecks as early as the kids are these days. But that little kiss that we thought was doing something, yeah, they was doing that. Anise said he was the star basketball player. Dwayna said in the 8th grade. Her mother said he was in the 10th. Dwayna said, oh, you was really fast. Oh. I'm sorry, y'all. I had 2 procedures today. I had 2 last week and 2 this week. 2 today. So I'm still in a little pain, but I feel a lot better. So that's why I decided to go ahead and, record some content. Oh, Suzanne said Chico was her 10th grade boyfriend. So I guess they both was in the 10th grade. Chico and the man. Or Chico was the man. Suzanne. Y'all, none of them liked their first kiss. Or maybe except, no, I think Suzanne did. The rest of them was like, it was ugh. Well, Nate didn't say that. He said something about going behind the car kissing. But the other 2, yeah, they thought it was disgusting. Oh, so the guy that Penn went out with that she really, really liked, he kind of blew her off, she thinks, because he said he was going out of town. She said fine, and then he hasn't reached out to her since then. So Zoe, the granddaughter, is saying, well, you like him. I guess she's trying to say you should probably just reach out to him and see. They did seem like they liked each other, and she even kissed him. He didn't even kiss her, like she kissed him. So Zoe sends a text, like it's from the grandmother, just, to Paul, just reaching out to see how he's doing, just to see if he's going to respond or how he's going to respond. And after that, if he, is corny or whatever, they just going to block his ass. Hopefully, Paul, you act right. So Zoe goes online and she finds Paul's TikTok. And remember, Paul has some type of band, or he does some type of singing. I remember that from the other video. So, of course, he's on TikTok singing. And then she just stops hysterically and starts laughing like it's bad. And it's not. It's just, a country singer. Avery and Suzanne look like they're just having the best time at that game. And I don't know if I said it earlier, but she put a Georgia dog sticker on his face, and he's an Alabama fan. So they just had a good time, and it didn't bother him one bit. And he just talks about how much she makes him laugh and stuff. Okay, Avery's a little strange. So he's talking about how much he likes her. And then he says, I will never have a threesome. I don't care if you ever had one. And she goes, what? What makes you think I would have a threesome? He's like, no. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter. I would never share, like, as hot or good looking as she is, I would never share her with her. And, like, he's just going on and on about not having a threesome. Like, why would you even bring that up? So they just laughing and a joking and a joking and a laughing. And he gives her a kiss and he kisses her, on the mouth. And then afterwards, he gonna say, I think you kind of scared of me. And Suzanne was like, I ain't scared of you. You don't scare me. And then she grabbed him and she kissed him. They are so cute, y'all. Well, yeah, child, that's it. That's all they got for us today, y'all. That was The Later Daters Season 1, Episode 4. It's a vibe. So if you enjoyed the commentary, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave me a comment or two down there in the comments. You can either share the video. If you're feeling generous, my Cash App is in the description. Or if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, you can buy me a cup of coffee as well. Thank you guys so much. Everything is in the description.
I'd like to kiss you, but I just washed my hair. Bye.